Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Give everybody a few minutes. It's been a couple weeks, guys. Wow. So my name is Red Moon Eagle, and you are watching Daily Devotions with Red Moon Eagle. And it is Monday, March 4th, 2024. Wow. It has been a crazy couple of weeks, and I apologize for not being live. Sometimes just that happens. We are in the wheel of, or the tide of destruction between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. Equinox is coming up in 20-ish days, less than. I'd love it if you hit the subscribe and the icon button that gives you little notifications when I go live. Most days I go live Monday through Friday. Last couple weeks it's been an exception. But I'm not stressing about it. It didn't happen, so we're moving on. I have been writing a lot, and there's a lot of amazing stuff happening in the background. And I'm not going to share any of it other than to say when it does all emerge from the shadows of creation, the joy and the light that all of these things bring is going to be amazing. So let's dive into our cards today. In the Sacred Self-Care book, the card is Build Strength. The mantra is, I am strong, my body, mind, and spirit are resilient. It's time to move and strengthen your body in a new way. Consider a new fitness or exercise video, a session, a personal trainer, anything to get your body moving. What makes you feel strong? I love that. That's the journal prompt. What makes you feel strong? The mantra is, I am strong, and body, mind, and spirit are resilient. Okay, Animal Spirit Guidebook. We picked, what came out of the deck anyway, is the Unicorn. Reconnecting to higher wisdom or divinity. It's difficult to see, hear, or think of a unicorn without immediately questioning if it's real. Did they ever exist? Perhaps long, long ago. The mind answers, maybe, could be, or no way. This is very contemplative, explains our relationship with divinity, and encapsulates our wavering belief in the unicorn. We wonder what divinity is. We wonder where our intuition comes from and if we can really trust it. We think about a higher power and our mind hesitates between yes, no, maybe. Is it male or female? Does it have a name? Is it just a feeling? The unicorn card appears and wakes us up to curiosity about the higher self and the divine. It is a card of questioning, exploring, contemplating the inexplicable. The mind's eye knows there is something beyond our day-to-day lives, a deeper dimension to our experiences. The mind's eye reaches and reaches and reaches out to grasp something more. You are the unicorn, and you have begun your quest for answers. Isn't that a beautiful card? Love that. Okay. And in the Mystical Shaman Oracle, we have the Rattle. The essence of the rattle is the spirit caller, carrying the shaman's prayer to the four directions. The body of the rattle is like the earth spinning on its axis. With the aid of the rattle, the medicine woman instills a desired destiny in her future, closing with a prayer. Great Spirit, may your will be done. The rattle guides us to pray for all the earth, not just for our personal needs. When we offer our prayers for the highest good of all, everything we need is provided to us. The initiation of the rattle card comes to invite you to work with the tools of spirit. And be careful, they are sharp and can hurt you and others if they are not used mindfully. Set your old tools aside and take up the drawing instruments of spirit. You are consciously stepping into partnership with divine. This is the time for courageous deeds. Do not let your hesitation get in the way of your expression. The medicine of the rattle. You want to catch God on the whisper, not in the shout. What you were trying to craft to your own desires and expectations is already there, standing before you. Do not spend the world to your own benefit. You are being offered the Creator's tools, much which must be put to use to serve a divine purpose. I love that. Okay, so when I pulled these, a few things caught my eye. So we're going to go back to strength. Strength, if you will look at the image, her third eye is focused. I am strong. My body, mind, and spirit are resilient. Focus. And a lot of times in cards, focus is the third eye in cards, okay? The irony is not beyond me, those of you who know Body of Nine, so we're going to get to that. So third eye and strength. And then the unicorn card is connecting to your higher wisdom. And the unicorn has a third eye focus. This is the wonder. Is it good for me? Is it good for the world? Waking up curiosity to higher self and the divine. Questioning, exploring, contemplating the inexplicable. The mind's eye knows there is something beyond our day-to-day, the deeper dimension of our experiences. The mind reaches and reaches and reaches to grasp something more. Isn't that beautiful? And then the rattle. And the rattle is the spirit caller, carrying the shaman's prayer to the four directions. The body of the rattle is like the earth spinning on its axis. With the aid of rattle, the medicine woman instills a desired destiny for her future. Great Spirit, may your will be done. The rattle guides us to pray for all of the earth, not just our personal needs. When we offer our prayers to the highest good of all, everything we need is provided. The rattle invites you to work with the tools of spirit, consciously stepping into partnership with the divine. Okay, so a couple things that came forward with this, and I think these cards are perfect. Excuse me, I have sniffles this morning. Actually, I really need to sneeze, but I can't seem to. So strengthen body, mind, spirit is a very common discussion, and I want to bring it into the full circle of emotion. So body, mind, spirit, emotion. And the strength and resilience that come with awareness of what unicorn brings forward, the curiosity and the amazing diversity of all of the possibilities of body, mind, spirit, and the questions we ask ourselves. In Body of Nine, natural number 7 is the natural number for the third eye. It's right here. And focus is 3. It's this one right here. And the amazing part of how these work seems to be what the cards are saying anyway today. What was being brought up for me is that the 7-3 combination in the Body of Nine flow process, or the transformation flow, is focusing on the thing, the thought, the item, the whatever. And 7 is the curiosity and the possibilities and all of the things that can come from that. And the rattle, I think, symbolizes the combination of those two numbers in a stacked energy. Because when I think of how, when I stack that energy, when I stack that and look at how those two qualities in the body and what that strength brings into my body, it brings in this knowingness, the knowingness that the tools I'm using must be refracted out to how does this help others, And if I am using these tools with integrity and honesty and really truly leaning into the rattle, then whatever it is that's meant to be will come my way, and it will all work out. It will work out for the best. The interesting part of what I think of in how focus, the natural number 7, intense ability to focus on the minute detail, and the 7, the ability to see all the possibilities and the curiosity and the creativity. 7-3 energy is so powerful in a process when you're going through a process, but it also energetically, when you're thinking of those properties and you are pulling that energy into your body has a layered understanding, and that layered understanding is the rattle. The rattle, the invitation of the rattle, I just want to read it again, is to invite you to work with the tools of spirit. But be careful, they're very sharp. Set your old tools aside and take up the drawing instruments of spirit. You are consciously stepping into partnership with the divine. This is the time for courageous deeds. Do not let your hesitation get in the way of your expression. You want to catch God on the whisper, not on the shout. What you are trying to craft to your own desires and expectations is already there, standing before you. Do not spin the world to your own benefit. You are being offered the Creator's tools, which must be put to use to serve the divine purpose. That's what the combination of that 3-7 energy is. It is the benefit for the benefit of all. It is not about you. And it's very interesting because I have a call into a friend of mine who I want to pick her brain about natural number 7 things, because over the last couple of weeks, a lot of things have happened, but I did have an encounter with someone, and there was a quality that we all as human beings want to be heard, right? Like, we want to be understood, we want to be heard, we want to be felt. We all want to know that when we express love, it is reciprocal, and maybe even not reciprocal. We know that, well, I know, I should say me, not we, because I'm talking about me. I think I'm talking about we, but and you can tell me in comments later, like, if you do something that you want somebody that you care about to understand you care, and that you're reaching out and you're doing something because you love them, you want them to know that it comes from real love. It doesn't come from an alternative motive, right? If you clean something or you do a chore that you find less than fun, you want appreciation for having done it. Something that I lived by myself for several times over the years, and one of the things that I found is that I love to have a tidy place. I'm always going to have books and art projects, and it's going to have clutter in it, but I want it to be tidy and clean. And it gets to the point where I can't keep it tidy and clean, and it's not fun for me. So I find personal gratification and personal joy in having a tidy place. So now I live with people, and I still like a tidy place. But I'm not the only one making the mess. So if I do something that's above and beyond my normal, I'd like some appreciation, right? We all want that. Not because we're seeking attention, we're seeking appreciation. If I make something for someone, I like to give it to them where I can see their joy in the thing. And one of the things that came out of this circumstance, well, there's actually 2, but I'll kind of weave them together for you, is that energy sensitives, it's come up that energy sensitives often, because we don't have the empathy part, and this is different if you've got both, but if we don't have the empathy part, sometimes it's really hard for us to know that when we do something or we express something, that someone really truly understands the depth of our love and our care and our affection for someone. Because there's nothing in our gift package that tells us that that was received wholly, fully, with completion. And if you have empathy, you already kind of know that because you're feeling the emotions of the other person. But energy sensitives don't have that, if that's the only gift that they have. I use that loosely. So we need more. We need more from our empathic friends, and it can seem very needy because we care so much, and there's nothing that tells us in the space that you get that we care. Now, there's another layer to this. If someone is energy sensitive and empathic, and they have said something and they don't feel heard, they will use their empathy with the push of the energy behind it to override the people in the space's emotions, and they will use their own empathy to manipulate the energy in a people's space to drive home with their energy what it is that they want to say. And it can be very off-putting, and they don't know when there's trauma and when there is not trusting their empathy, then it can become extraordinarily off-putting and manipulative. And an energy sensitive, when they don't feel heard, and I have totally done this, 100%, I am guilty of this, they will use their energy to shove and drive the energy of a space to reinforce their care, their love, whatever it is that they are trying to get emotionally across to someone, but they don't have the ability to manipulate the emotion. They will use manipulative words, but it's really the energy behind it. Because an empath in that, and I've had empaths tell me what seems to happen is that they will feel very, how did the last empath I talked to about this? She said that it feels like my feelings are completely disregarded, and then the words that are used to hurt me, but they don't hurt me in the direction that person thinks they're trying to hurt me. It's very interesting. An empath feeling what an energy sensitive is driving at will often create the empath to either completely pull away or, well, most often they just go away. I mean, really. Because the energy sensitive, because they don't feel the other person's, they don't have that empathic validation, so they will continue to shove energy into that space until that empath tells them, stop, I get it, I love you too, or I get it, I understand what you're trying to say. And it really takes a lot for an energy sensitive to learn how to truly trust that the empath does get it. Because they don't trust themselves. It's not that an energy sensitive doesn't trust themselves. They don't trust that the empath or the other person they're talking to or is reciprocal of whatever it is really gets it. Because there's nothing in an energy sensitive that says, I feel that you feel that I feel this. Because that's what empathy does. An empath says, I feel that you felt that I felt it. And that you felt me. And now I feel that you feel that I feel you. And there's a validating loop in that exchange. If you have energy sensitivity and you do not have empathy, you don't have that validating loop. It's extraordinarily difficult for empaths often to understand that energy sensitives don't have that. They don't have that. And you can't develop it. It doesn't come out of somewhere. It's just not there. It's like, it's literally like trying to tell somebody who doesn't have a right arm, well, just practice harder. Practice harder with what? There's nothing there. But those energy sensitive empaths, those that have both gifts, they can be equally as traumatized in the inability to be heard or understood in a way that they have so much information coming at them that they don't know how to untangle the combo. And so as very young children, they often learn how to use the emotional gifts, the empathic gifts, to manipulate 100%. Most empathic children are very good manipulators. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that that's how they learn to navigate their world. That's how they see their world. Everybody has emotions, so they learn to navigate and see the world through their emotional sense. It's a beautiful thing. And when you have energy sensitivity with it, they learn usually very young how to take that energy and shove it into that energy, that empathy, right? Or use it with the empathy to get points across. They can be very forceful in group settings. They can be very powerful public speakers. They can be very good teachers. The downside is that when it becomes this place, from a place of trauma, from a place of a fear paradigm where they don't feel heard or they don't feel seen, and they use it to force people to see and hear them. And that's not a good thing. And the reason it comes up with these cards is that as we grow and as we live in our lives, we build strength of body, mind, spirit, and emotion naturally through our natural number first. And that is a physiological thing. And I want to talk more about that soon. But that's a physiological thing. And in the wheel, that is the body, emotion, spirit side of the wheel. And the unicorn is often spirit, right? That is the unseen, but it is spirit, mind, and emotion. Spirit, mind, emotion. And this is body, emotion, spirit. Right? Yeah. And then rattle brings it all together. And the rattle brings it all together so that the full wheel is seen. Body, mind, spirit, emotion. I think I'm going to get a chart or something that I can like show. These are where we are on the wheel. Because it's so important that we recognize that when we strengthen anything, it's not in isolation. And the spiritual quality of who you are as an entity in your physical body is so important. And learning how to do for yourself through the tools actually you're doing for others, to then it will all work out for yourself. I love Rattle. It actually brought up, I had forgotten about this till I pulled this card this morning, and I don't know where it is in storage, but I made a rattle a long time ago for a ceremony, and I have not seen it in at least a decade, and I want to go dig it out. So either I'm going to dig it out or I'm going to make one for the spring solstice, or spring equinox, because rattles are spring equinox tools. They are tools you make at the spring equinox, because it's the gourd that you harvested in the fall, and then at the spring equinox you make the rattle. You bring the birthing of the next layer of the tool forward. So if I can't find mine, maybe I'll make one, and maybe I'll do like a video on making making a spirit rattle, because I miss mine. The longing came forward right here out of my place of bliss. It came forward this morning when I pulled this card. And it's a tool that is a powerful tool, and it's amazing, and it's healing, and I miss mine. So I'm gonna go see if I can find it. I hope you all have a beautiful day. I know that this was kind of an intense daily devotional to dive into after being gone for a couple weeks. But that's the way Spirit works sometimes. Sometimes Spirit says, and here we go, off into the next journey. I hope you all have a beautiful day and many blessings, and I will see you in prayer. Blessed be.